I'll be presenting not exactly what has been presented so far, little bit away from that. Basically, some of the things in the morning we were talking about. For example, the 25% of the engineers which comes out from various engineering college are only worthwhile to be employed or employable. Only 25%. Rest 75% we cannot employ them at all. It is not worthwhile to be employed in the industry directly at all. They need some type of rigorous training, etc. I'll try to collect. I had a discussion sometime long back, I think maybe around 10 years back. I wrote one small report and I had sent it to Dr. Abdul Kalam, and he immediately within 1 hour he called me. Can you come for discussion? What is that report you written in it? It was a small thing about training of skill-based training of engineers. And it was basically based on my experience in Germany, and where Germany do it. And it is a skill-based training. That means basically a engineer whom we come out with, the engineers whom we come out with today from various engineering colleges are not worthwhile because they are not trained on the floor, on the shop floor. They have not exactly use those machines themselves directly. So in Germany, what they do in some of the places, basically in the industry itself, there is a classroom directly there, so by the side of the industry. Industry is there, maybe that, for example, there is so many industry in Germany. So one of the industry, let's see, they will have a classroom also by the side, and the teacher who is teaching is also from the industry, and the student is also from the same industry. So what they do, in the weekends, the student is taught using the computer again the same thing again, digital teaching. And because that student maybe that, for example, Indian environment, let us talk that he had a diploma engineering, or he did just an ITI course after 8th class, and he had got a lot of exposure, and he wants to go up, higher up. So he is given a training there, and classroom is there, and finally his classroom training and whatever lectures he is giving, that is approved by some education board, and finally he gets a certificate. And for example, if he is a diploma holder, he gets converted into a degree, and it is equal. And the training course given by them is already standard syllabus is made. They are taught on the standard syllabus. And for example, let us say he has done some machine, some type of machine he is using, and the same machine on the computer, it will be virtual lab will be there. He will be using the virtual lab on the computer, and that's training will be given there. And he will actually, it is the other way around. In our Indian engineers, he is coming out first of all, he is doing everything from the books only, and trying to learn everything engineering from the books only, not on the shop floor. While here it is the other way around. He has learned everything on the shop floor. Now he is giving the academic training or theoretical training, so that whatever he is doing, whatever he has been doing by some seniors, he has been taught. He is now learning the theory behind it, everything. So he is much more exposed. He is much more good engineer than any other engineer who is coming out with the training with the other way around. First of all theory and then goes to practical. So that type of training I had suggested in that small report, and he was suggesting that I had a discussion with him. He was asking me, how can you implement it? I said, very simple. It was an IET. IET we already have in our country, one of the institutions, Institute of Engineers or IIT, etc. They can give the certificate, and it will become the equivalent certificate of an engineer. He can become a graduate engineer equivalent. As a result, same type of thing, because we have been talking about that scalability, that our number of research papers are there, number of reports were there recently, saying that our total number of engineering colleges has to be doubled. Number of universities need to be doubled in India. But besides getting just doubled in the conventional way, I think we can double it or increase by number by this way also. This is one of the method, very simple method. Here it will have the facility. It will have a quality, scalability. It will increase. Naturally, it will increase the research also, because see, for example, I did my PhD in 74 long back, and I know that my PhD in engineering was much more theoretical based. Of course, it was published in great, biggest journals. IEEE's publication, I had around 7 or 8 publications during my PhD itself, IEEE transactions. But they were all pure theoretical. Those theories, whatever I presented, we could not use it in India. So whatever, in this way, the student is getting trained, and he does the PhD, definitely it will be more application oriented, more directly application oriented. And I think we should put a condition that all PhDs being done should be application oriented, not just theoretical oriented. I don't know how it can be done, but somehow MHRD should be put a pressure that they should put a pressure to all the universities. It should be more of a practical oriented, application oriented, not just theoretical oriented. It's just a theoretical, imaginative thing I was telling. And naturally, we have been talking about the interaction between teachers and students. In this case, teacher and student is directly connected. Automatically, it gets connected. Because the teacher is telling on the interactive on the board, on the computer. Because it is a virtual classroom, virtual lab, virtual workshop, virtual machine they are running on the computer, on the screen, and then training him. Maybe, and then naturally, he gets a better certificate, and that certificate should be much more better recognized than normal conventional, and he is much more employable than any other industry, any other engineers who is coming up from conventional university. Thank you. This is much only.